So hello everyone, this is me Gaurav and I just welcome you in the channel Safety Talks with Gaurav. So as you already seen in the thumbnail that what we are going to discuss in this video. So we are going to discuss the 23 important questions or the 23 important topics related to our fire technology and safety engineering field. So if you are working in the particular fire technology and safety engineering field, that you must aware about these 23 topics or the 23 questions. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. So let's discuss our first question. So first question goes like, what is the time limit for a preliminary report? So its answer will be 24 hours. Why? So let's discuss related to our preliminary report. So preliminary safety analysis report, we can also say as a PSA report. So a preliminary safety analysis report of the reactor and it is a supporting technical document and it is provided by the reactor vendor. So this document describe in detail the safety requirements laid down for the design and how the plant is able to meet these requirements under normal operating conditions. Okay, apart from that, upset conditions and design basis accident conditions is also there. So the PSA report also describe the engineered safety features and procedures for operator intervention to control the progression of beyond design basis accidents and for mitigation of their consequences. Okay, apart from that, the PSA report is also very important document, not only for understanding the safety design of the plant but also for obtaining good familiarity with the behavior of the plant under normal as well as abnormal conditions. Okay, so this is our first question. First question is time limit for preliminary report. It's 24 hours. Okay, now move on to the next question. Next question is goes like, where smoking area is allowed at site? Okay, so the answer will be designated smoking shelters. Why? Because a smoking shelter provides cover and protection from adverse weather condition and from harmful UVs on a hot day. So by doing this, smoker at work are encouraged to smoke in the designated area. Apart from that, helping to keep the rest of the working area smoke free. Okay, and as the smoking area is then contained, it will also reduce the likelihood of cigarette ends being left laying around on the floor in other areas, and also this will improve the look of the site and public spaces, helping keep your site clean and tidy and giving a good impression. Okay, so this is the second question, where smoking is allowed at site. So answer will be designated smoking shelters. Okay, now move on to the next question on next topic. Like it goes like, specify the required distance for access in excavation. Like what is the required distance for access in excavation? So answer will be 7.5 meters, or you can say in the feet it's 25 feet. Okay, why? Because OSHA's according to OSHA, so OSHA's requires employers to provide ladder, step, ramps or other safe means of egress for workers working in trench excavation 4 feet 1.22 meter or deeper. So if the worker is working in the excavated area, it is 4 feet or 1.22 meter deeper or more than it. So the means of egress must be located so as not to require worker to travel more than 25 feet or 7.62 meters literally within the trench. Okay, so this is our third question. Specify the required distance for access and excavation. Answer will be 7.5 meters and 25 feet. Now move on to the next question. So next question goes like, what is the basic PP requirement at the site? Like what is the minimum mandatory requirement of related to PPs is necessary while you are working at the site, whether it is the construction site or whether it is the manufacturing plant working premises. So what is the basic PP requirement? So the basic minimum mandatory PP requirement will be safety helmet, safety shoes and safety glasses. So answer will be safety helmet, safety shoes and safety glasses. Why? Because safety spectacles, goggles and face shields when used correctly, so it provide protection to eye and face against injury from flying objects like chemical splashes and harmful radiation. And protector should meet the following minimum requirements to provide adequate protection against the hazard for which they are designated. Okay, so this is our fourth question. What is the basic PP requirement at site? So it will be safety helmet, safety shoes and safety glasses. Apart from that, let's move on to the next question. Next question on next topic goes like, at what depth an excavation area can be called as confined space? Like what is the depth? in which an excavated area or the excavation area is called as confined space. So answer will be more than 1.5 meter. Why? Because according to as per the Indian standard 3764 1992 excavation work code of safety, to be it says that key to be adopted when the depth of trench is more than 1.5 meter. So if the depth of trench is more than 1.5 meter, it is considered as the confined space area. Okay, now next move on to the next question. So next question goes like ki, mention the PPE requirement for working at height. Like the what is the minimum mandatory requirement while we are working at height of the PPs. matlab what particular PP must be used while we are working at the working at height areas, or the working at height while we are working at height. Okay, so answer will be full body harness. So a full body harness is a device with straps that can be attached to a person as a fall arrest system, and the straps are fastened around a person's body to contain the torso and distribute fall arrest forces over at least the upper things, pelvis, chest and shoulders. So the answer will be to that particular topic or the particular question. So what is the PP requirement for working at height? Answer will be full body harness. Now move on to the next question. Next question goes like, what is the ratio for ladder placement? Like what is the ratio that is being used at our working premises while we are using ladder or to place the ladder? Okay, so answer will be 4 to 1 rule. Why? Because the base of the ladder should be placed so that it is 1 foot away from the building from every 4 feet of height to where the ladder rests against the building, and this is also known as the 4 to 1 rule. Okay, so according to OSHA's standard 1910.23, it separates ladder into 3 types. So according to the OSHA's standard 1910, so ladder will be specified, or there are the 3 types of ladder according to OSHA 1910.23. so the types of ladders will be portable ladders, fixed ladder and mobile ladder. So stand and mobile ladder, stand platforms is also there. So apart from that, the publication include a summary of the OSHA standard for a portable ladder. Okay, now move on to the next question. Next question goes like, what is the purpose of screw jack? So screw jack is being used in our BLT metro projects and metro projects, or it also uses for the scaffolding. In the scaffoldings is also, may I guess, so it is being used, screw jack is being used. So what is the purpose of a screw jack? So the answer will be for maintaining level for stands and post. So why? Because the purpose of jack is to make the effort less than the load, so that it works as a force multiplier. Okay, so a jack screw or a jack screw jack or a jack screw is a mechanical device used as a lifting device to lift heavy loads by applying minimal forces, and a hydraulic jack use hydraulic power. So the most common form is a car jack, floor jack or garage jack, which lifts vehicles so that maintain can be performed. Okay, so there are also so many purpose of using screw jack. So we are going to discuss some specific. I have to make this specific video on the screw jack, so I described it detailed in that particular video. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. So next question goes like, specify the main components are required for handrail in scaffolding. Like what are the main component that is required for handrails in scaffolding? So answer will be top rail, mid rail and toy board. So top rail, mid rail and toy board, so these are the 3 main components that is required for handrails in scaffolding. So for construction work, the top guardrail should be a minimum of 950 mm above the working platform, and any gap between the top rail and the immediate rail should not exceed 470 mm. Okay, 470 mm guardrails. Okay, so mid rail and toy rails are all required on scaffolding. So guardrail needed to be between 38 and 45 inches high to meet regulations. Okay, so now move on to the next question. So next question or next topic goes like, how will prevent the caving in excavation? So caving is being if there is any type of caving happening in your excavation, so how will you prevent that particular caving in the excavation? So okay, so answer will be sloping, shoring and benching. So these are the 3 techniques that is being used to prevent the caving in the excavation. So why? Because in while we are doing the excavation work, so in sloping, the walls of the trench slope at the angle so that they do not cave in. Okay, so benching and tracing is a method in which the sides of the trench are formed in steps in order to prevent them from collapsing. Okay, and sloping does not require any additional equipment. Sloping or benching for excavation greater than 20 feet deep shall be designed by a registered professional engineer. Okay, now move on to the next question. Next question is, what safety device is used to prevent hook and boom to get the angled? Okay, like what is the safety device that is being used to prevent hook and boom to get the angle? So basically the question related to the lifting activities, or the while we are carrying out the lifting activities with the help of the cranes. So it is related to that topic. So its answer will be NT2 block system. So why? So because according to ASME, American National Standard of Mobile and Locomotive Crane, so every crane manufactured after 2nd February 1992, so the crane must have an NT2 block warning system installed in it, because the two most powerful type of NT2 block warning systems is being used. The first one is wireless and second one is the hardwire NT2 block system. So first let's discuss about the wireless NT2 block systems. So wireless NT2 blocking warning systems don't have cable reels to go up to the boom, but these easy to install devices are one of the best design on the market. So as they provide both audio and visual alarm to indicate that the crane hook has reached the maximum safe height. If your operation don't require lifting personnel and you have a telescopic or lattice boom crane, then a wireless crane NT2 block system is the perfect option for you. Apart from that, let's talk about the hardwired NT2 block systems. So just like the wireless NT2 block systems, hardwire system also provide audio and visual alarms when hook get to the maximum safe height. So this give the operator a much needed headed up to prevent the hook assembly to clinch up with the boom tip. Apart from that, this type of NT2 block system has a cable which make it perfect for fixed boom cranes, and if your operation require lifting personnel and using a lockout, then you should get a hardwired NT2 block system for your cranes. Okay, apart from that, both types of NT2 block warning systems are cost effective for guarding against boom damage and accidents, and are the minimum safety indicators of all cranes should you have in your cranes. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. Next question is goes like, what is the required for all 120 volt single phase or 15 and 20 amperes respectal on construction site that are not, like what is the required for 120 volt single phase and 15 and 20 ampere respectable on construction site that are not? So the answer will be GFSI. So what stand for GFSI stand for ground fault circuit interrupter. Okay, so ground fault circuit interrupter, GFSI, can help prevent electrocution, and if a person body start to receive a shock, the GFSI sense this and cut off the power before he or she can get injured. Okay, apart from that, GFSI ground fault circuit interrupter are generally installed where electrical circuits may accidentally came into contact with water, and they are most often found in kitchens, bath, laundry rooms, or even out of door in the garage with electrical power tool might be used. So this is the answer. So the required the GFSI is required for all 120 volt single phase or 15 and 20 amperes respectable on construction site. Okay, so now move on to the next question. So our next question goes like, what is the smell of H2S? Like what is the smell of hydrogen sulfide? Okay, so the answer will be rotten egg smell. Why? Let's discuss something about the hydrogen sulfide first. So hydrogen sulfide is the most disinfective chemical compound which is a colorless, okay, and highly corrosive, flammable and poisonous gas. Okay, or hydrogen sulfide is formed by the microbial breakdown of organic matter in the absence of oxygen. Okay, and hydrogen sulfide is also found in crude petroleum, volcanic gases, some sources of water wells and hot spring, and also in natural gases we found the hydrogen sulfide. Okay, now let's talk about the hydrogen sulfide smell. So it smells like rotten egg at low concentration levels in the air, and it has sickeningly sweet odor at high concentration levels. Okay, So the person may lose his ability to guess smell and also become unaware of his presence at the extremely high concentration values. Okay, so the answer will be rotten egg smell. So what is the smell of H2S? The answer will be rotten egg smell. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next question is goes like what is the main requirement for automatically shutting off the abrasive blasting nozzle? So its answer will be dead man switch. Why? Because a dead man switch adapted to form an integral part of a handheld end connector of a hazardous hand tool. So the deadman switch comprising a housing integrally formed with the connector. So the housing including switching means arranged to control operation of the tool. So a handle pivotally supported by the housing to be displaceable from an off position to an position in which the handle activates the switching means to control operations of the tool, and means to argue the switching means and the handle to the off position. So whereby in use the connector is handheld to depress the handle to activate the switching means and cause operation of the tool. So the answer will be dead man switch. So what is the main requirement for automatically shutting off the abrasive blasting nozzle? Answer is dead man switch. Now next move on to the next question. So next question goes like what condition is required for breathing air compressor? Like what is the minimum requirement for breathing air compressor or the before we use? So what is the thing that we have to check related to breathing air compressor? So okay, so the answer will be third party certification. So why third party certification? Because the mechanism is already described in part 2 of appendix A of the standard, but parties with a new fire testing method must supply a detailed description of the method as well as data from an independent government research laboratory or from a study published in a peer reviewed industrial hygiene journal supporting the new method performance. Okay, apart from that, upon receipt of this information, OSHA will initiate rule making to add this method to appendix A of the respiratory standard. Okay, so you have to go through about that thing if you want to know depth knowledge about of that particular topic. If you want to know, or if you want to know the depth knowledge about that particular breathing air compressor, then you must have to go the respiratory standards of OSHA. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. So next question goes like what is the safety method being used to prevent static electricity buildup? So what is the safety method? So the answer will be grounding and bonding. Grounding and bonding. Why grounding and bonding is the safety method that is being used to prevent static electricity? So because grounding is the process of bonding one or more conductive object. Okay, so grounding is the process of bonding one or more conductive objects to the ground so that all objects are at some static potential as earth, so also referred to as earthing. Okay, so bonding is the process of connecting two or more conductive objects together by means of a conductor so that they are at the same static potential but not necessarily at the same potential as the earth. So the transferring, if we are transferring a liquid from one metal container to another may result in a static electrical spark. Bonding and grounding is the process of providing an electrically conductive path between a container, so a receiving container or and an earth ground, so which eliminates the potential buildup of static electricity and possible spark that can cause a flash fire if there is a flammable mixture or a flammable mixture of fuel and air is there. Okay, so the grounding and bonding is the method or the safety method that is being used to prevent static electricity buildup. Okay, now move on to the next question. Next question goes like during the situation of H2S emission, which is the safest direction to move? यानी कि during the situation of hydrogen sulfide emission, which is the safest direction to move? So answer will be across wind or upwind direction. Why? Because if you are working in an area with the possibility of hydrogen sulfide release, so there should be flags or wind shocks on the work site to show you which direction the wind is blowing. So head in the opposite direction immediately, and if you can't see the wind shock, toss some dirt or leave into the air or look at the trees. So the wind can blow and concrete the hydrogen sulfide into valleys of the stand of tree. So the direction you go, so important, if so the direction you go is important. So if a designated gathering area or muster site is indicated downwind, so go there, and this is the easiest and most effective way to avoid hydrogen sulfide inhalation or poisoning. Okay, so now next move on to the next question. Next question goes like कि in case of a grinder machine with 10,000 rpm, the grinding disk should be higher or lower? So the answer will be higher. Why? Because never exceed the maximum rpm rating. It's indicated on the wheel. For example, a 4 in a 4 in wheel rated it at 9000 rpm should not be used on an 4 in grinder with no load speed of 10,000 rpm. Okay, so typically 4 in grinder. So many people remain under the impression that it is the load operating speed that cannot be exceeded. So this is simply not the case. Okay, so expanding on this point, a 4 in grinder without speed stabilization electronics and no load speed of 10,000 rpm will have an operating speed of about 6,500 rpm. So when you put the wheel under pressure against the work, it is not the 6,500 rpm that applies, it is the 10,000 rpm no load rpm that is critical. Okay, so remember that thing. So it is higher. Okay, now move on to the next slide or the next question. So the next question goes like, specify the grade of supplied air rod or respirator. So what is the specific grade of supplied air rod or respirator? So it is a grade D. So why? Because grade D is in the air purifying respirator. So it also and these type of air purifying respiratories are grouped into three general types. So particulate removing, vapor and gas removing, and combination. Okay, so eliminate that removes particulate are called filter, while vapor and gas removing elements are called either chemical cartridges or canister. So filter and canister cartridges are the functional portion of air purifying respirators, and they can generally be removed and replaced once their effective life has expired. So the expectation would be filtering face piece respirator, so commonly referred to as a disposal respirator, dust mask, or single use respirators, so which cannot be cleaned or disinfected or resupplied with an unused filter after use. So the particulate removing respirator are designed to reduce inhaled concentration of noisance, dust, fume, mist, toxic dust, red and daughters, asbestos containing dust or fiber, so or any combination of these substances. Okay, so by filtering most of the contaminants from the inhaled air before they enter the breathing zone of the worker, so they may have a single use or replaceable filters. So these respirators may be non-powered or powered air purifier. Okay, so a powered air purifier respirator is also called as PAPR. So these particular type of respirator uses a blower to force the ambient atmosphere through air purifying elements to inlet covering. Okay, and vapor and gas removing respirators are designed with sorbent elements like canister or cartridges, so that absorb the vapor or gases from the contaminated air before they can enter the breathing zone of the worker. So combination cartridges and canisters are available to protect against particular, so as well as vapor and gases. Okay, so this is the answer. So specify the grade of supplied air rod or respirator. So the answer will be grade D. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next question goes like, how will you protect cylinder valve? Okay, so as you also shown in the pictures, with the help of cylinder cap. Okay, so protect the valve with the cylinder cap to prevent the sudden release of gas under high pressure. So the release of pressurized gas can cause the cylinder to become a projectile. Okay, so the answer will be cylinder cap. Now move on to the next question. So our next question goes like, how to control a lifting load. So if so the question is related to the lifting activities, so its answer will be tagline. Why? Because what is tagline? So first we discuss about the tagline. So OSHA defines a tagline as a rope, usually fiber, so it attached to a lifted load for purpose of controlling load, spinning and pendular motions, or used to stabilize a bucket or magnet during material handling operations. Okay, and tagline can be critical part of your rigging plan to ensure the safety of everyone on a job site, but it also allow you to avoid situations where you may have otherwise have to put hands on or stay underneath a load. Okay, so both of which are incredible, dangerous and never recommended. Okay, so they also assist to control a load when there is a possibility of the load to rotate. So overall tagline work to limit risk to the people and objects surrounding a load. Okay, so when using a tagline, it is also important to follow some safety guidelines. So ensure the line is long enough to keep you out harm away, so but not so long that it become a snitching hazard. Okay, so additionally it is important to never tie knots or loops in the tagline and to never wrap the taglines around your hands or arms. Okay, if some reason a tagline is not possible, hand-free tools may be an alternative option. So we offer the snare it and show with hands, so free safety tools to help eliminate exposure to the dangerous zone during a lifting. Okay, apart from that, in additional to taglines, make sure you and your team are equipped with all necessary fall protection and safety equipment such as hard hats, gloves and harness. So our team will glad to discuss the best opportunity suited for your particular job. Okay, so if you need to brush up on all your rigging safety knowledge, so our rigging training is one of the best thing. So contact nearest location to schedule a training if you want to. So I tried to get the training related to the lifting activities also. Now next move on to the next question. So next question goes like, so is a scaffolding platform is more than 6 meter, who is authorized to inspect the platform? Like if the scaffolding platform is more than 6 meters, so who is the authorized person to inspect the platform? So okay, so answer will be scaffolding inspector or scaffolding supervisor. Okay, why? Because so a competent person is an employee who is capable of identifying existing or predictable hazard in the surrounding or working conditions which are unsanitary, hazard or dangerous to employ, and who has the authorization to take prompt corrective measures to eliminate these hazards. Okay, so person selected to be competent person at Preston should receive from professional scaffold competent person training either from an internal, so office environment health and safety EHS, or external competent person, that is scaffolding training institute or similar vendor. So competent people shall only receive training from to provide said training. Okay, so the department will designate, identify and provide training for competent persons. So within the department, so a list of competent person will be maintained by the department, and additionally refresh type training will be also provided on a needed basis. Okay, so the periodic of these training to be determined by environment health and safety and the departments managed, so department management. Okay, but should not exceed a period of 5 years from the previous training. Okay, so the department also provide the competent person with document indicating that they are a competent person or representing the respective departments, and shall agree to uphold to local, state and federal rules and regulations as they relate to scaffolding. Okay, apart from that, let's discuss the competent person's responsibility include, so but they are not limited, it's two. Okay, so I try to put some of the responsibilities. So the first one is design and pre-planning of the scaffold, including weight limitations, scaffold type, fall protection, tie off supports, etc. will be designed and pre-planned. Okay, so second one is overseeing the erection of the scaffold should be done, okay, or should be taken care. So apart from that, the third one is final inspection of the scaffold prior to initial occupation for use, and next one is at a minimum daily inspection and documentation of the condition of the scaffold and its ability to be occupied safely. It is monitored regularly, and the inspection of a scaffolding after changes, alternatives have been made. If such kind of things has been done, then inspection must be done of that particular scaffold scaffolding. And next one is oversight and inspection of mobile scaffold. So if there any kind of mobile scaffold is being used, so oversight inspection will be done and carried out by the scaffolding supervisor and scaffolding inspector. Okay. Apart from that, training of other competent person, scaffold erector and users. So training should be provided or must be provided. And apart from that, contact EHS for assistance and guidance if any of the duties associated with being a competent person. So these are the some roles and responsibilities of scaffolding supervisor and scaffolding inspector that we discussed. So this is our question. So if a scaffolding platform is more than 6 meter, who is authorized to inspect the platform? Answer would be scaffolding supervisor and scaffolding inspector. Okay. Now next move on to the question, our next question. So it goes like, what is the PPE requirement in abrasive blasting? Like what is the mandatory PPE requirement in abrasive blasting? So answer will be respirator mask, carting type, filter type. So why? Because according to OSHA technical manual OTM section 8 chapter 2, so wearing respiratory protective devices to reduce exposure to airborne contaminants is widespread in industry. So an estimated 5.0 million workers wear respirators either occasionally or routinely. So all thought it is preferred industrial hygiene practice to use engineering controls to reduce contaminant emission at their source, and there are operations where this type of control is not technologically or economically feasible or is otherwise inappropriate. Okay, so the answer will be respirator mask, carting type, filter type should be PP requirement in abrasive blasting. So thank you so much for watching this video. So in this video we discussed 23 important topics or 23 important questions that you must know if you belongs to fire technology and safety engineering field. I hope you gain some knowledge from this video. So if you gain some knowledge from this video, then definitely share this video with your friends who is in the fire technology and safety engineering field, or who want to be a part of that particular field, fire technology and safety engineering field. So I hope you gain some knowledge. Thank you so much for watching this. This is me, Gaurav, signing out.